Now to some major developments in a couple of recent investigations in Prince William County. We welcome back Police Chief Peter Newsham. Chief, let's begin with the arrest following a deadly shooting in the Bull Run mobile home park. That shooting happened last month, but just last week your department made more arrests. What can you tell us about the suspects?
Yeah, so this is a one of those just horrific events where we have a bunch of young people involved. We have an 18-year-old who ends up losing his life. It looks like there was a planned robbery. These folks all knew each other. We end up losing an 18-year-old young man, loses his life in a shooting. And then so far, we've made 7 arrests in this case. 4 of those are young adults, and then 3 of those are juveniles. So, you know, when I talk about these cases publicly, what's really kind of crushing is obviously to lose a young man at 18 years of age, has his whole life in front of him. But these other young people that are involved in this case equally, their lives are going to be significantly impacted. I mean, they have to be held accountable for what they did. But, you know, talk about a tragedy all around.
Absolutely. I believe a teen as young as 15 years old was also arrested among those that you named there. Do we know, you mentioned a robbery, do we know specifically what they were after, why this young man was targeted?
Yeah, without getting into too much detail, it looks like it was drug related, and the group had planned a robbery on the victim in this case. Whenever you introduce a firearm into that equation, it becomes exceedingly dangerous. And in this particular instance, the gun was fired, and this young guy lost his life.
All right, Chief, next we want to take a closer look at the investigation into the Rat Pack Clubhouse in Woodbridge. This is a story we covered extensively with our reporters. Investigators are calling this a big distribution operation that crossed state lines, agents seizing marijuana, mushrooms, and cocaine, to name a few. At last check, according to 7 News reporting, your department arrested 2 of the operators. Are you still looking for Matthew Pollard, the 3rd suspect?
We are. That he is still at large, and we want to make sure he's held accountable. Like you said, you covered this story, and I want to thank you for that in depth. This was a great collaboration. It started with a couple of traffic stops by our friends at the Virginia State Police, and actually a member of the North Carolina Highway Patrol, where they seized significant hundreds of pounds of marijuana. As they further the investigation, they find a location in Alexandria, the Rat Pack Clubhouse right here in Woodbridge, Virginia, and another location. They served search warrants, and they seized a significant amount of illegal drugs, like you said, marijuana, psilocybin, which is found in mushrooms, over 5 kilograms of cocaine, and 3 guns. So this was a significant drug operation. Like you said, we have 2 in custody so far, and we're still looking for Pollard. So if anybody has information as to his whereabouts, we'd ask them, please give us a call, and we'd be happy to ensure that he's taken safely and respectfully into custody.
Based on the information, Chief, this sounds like a well-established operation. Any indication of how long this may have been going on, and whether more people, like, you're going to extend the scope of this investigation since it did cross over into other states? Are other jurisdictions looking to make arrests connected to this as well?
Yeah, well, you know, without getting into too many details on this, because it's ongoing, whenever you have a seizure of this size, it oftentimes it will lead to other seizures that will occur down the road. And like you said, in this particular case, we already have a connection into the Carolinas, so we will follow up on that. Maybe when we get Mr. Pollard into custody, he's going to assist us with that. We're hopeful that he will do that. Because, you know, at the end of the day, an operation like this is putting people, and a lot of times it's younger people, in jeopardy, having these illegal narcotics out there. We all know what that can do, addiction, what that can do to families and to people. So great case by law enforcement. I failed to mention, we also teamed up with the ATF and the DEA on this case. I just want to make sure that people realize that we're going to continue to go out there and look for these illegal drugs. And when we have the opportunity, we'll seize them, and we'll take the folks that are responsible for it into custody.
Prince William County Police Chief Peter Newsham, thank you so much for joining us today.
Yeah, thank you. Great to see you.
Same here. Take care. We'll be right back.